Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. So pretty much a nothing day yesterday. Went sideways. We do have sellers trying to drive price down off the top here, and I'm just going to put that level in up there. That's 16,472. If we come across to the weekly, you'll see the significance of that level. It's kind of the previous, not quite the previous close, but it is in the vicinity here of the previous highs. So that is to be expected. We did have a bit of an exhaustion weekly bar onto that, but you can see there's no real rejection coming off there on Monday. So Monday is typically a slow day, so let's not read too much into that. We'll have to wait and see what happens for the rest of this week. So what I would expect is either we're going to go sideways for the week, or we are going to push through, and it's going to trigger quite a few stops that are up here, which should get us an acceleration to the top. I'm expecting another all-time high, basically. I'm expecting one or two more before the end of the year. So what we see here is pretty much sideways. You can't really see much on the 8 hour, so let's just drop down to the 3 hour and hit that like button while you're at it, and let's get this level in. I'll just pick up this bottom tail here. So that was Monday's price action. Pretty boring. Nothing really going on. We don't really have structure. But as I said yesterday, it was one of two things. Either we were going to range like we did, or we were going to drop down to one of these levels here for an opportunity to buy. So the strategy stays the same as what we looked at yesterday, and that is looking for a break of structure. Now, the structure we have in place right now is a range. Look at the hour. We're still very much in an upward trend. We do have this gap to the downside, which was closed on the S&P 500. So that's just something to note. And while the S&P 500 was falling yesterday, pre-market, the DAX was just going sideways. So for me, this is still a case of we need to wait for the breakouts and the retests for us to actually get going on this pair. Oscillators have kind of just gone nowhere. We had a bit of a separation here, but we didn't really get going. And if you look at them at the moment, they just rolling over back to the downside here. So nothing really to read into that. And if we drop down to the 15-minute, it just gives you a much better picture of what is actually going on. You can see the move below and above the moving averages here the whole day. Nothing really giving way. No real structure to the left. You would have expected us to come down and close this gap or one of these areas here. That didn't materialize, and that was the open and then the pullback immediately. So this is going nowhere slowly. If even dropping down to the 5-minute, and we spoke about this yesterday as well, that would probably give you the opportunities to look at, and there was the only 5-minute structure right there, and you can see what happened. There was a bit of a range bar, big tail on that area. So 5 minutes, that would have been fairly decent opportunity, 11 points, but short-lived. Profit would have been in the gap. You can see the oscillators, how they grouped the upside, and we rolled, grouped the downside, and then we rolled up again. So just shows you on the 5-minute, you typically have the oscillators that are fairly strong at indicating what's about to happen. So if you look at that, you're probably expecting another rollover to the downside. But I think you are going to be capped by the top and bottom of this range. So it's actually it's a no-go zone for me until we break. So if we do break to the downside, there'll be a short scalp on offer targeting this gap here, and that will be. And I wouldn't target the actual gap. I would target this level here, and that is 16,337. But again, it'll have to be a break and a retest, a solid rejection. Pay attention to the 5-minute for that, and then it should drop down to this level here. Personally, I think we are either going to range. We're waiting for some noise in the market, or we are going to attack this here. So the fact that the bulls didn't let off yesterday and they kept buying off the bottom here, just an indication that we are looking for something in the market at the moment. So something is brewing, and we'll probably see a breakout sooner than later. So it's sit on hands until we have the breakout. If it does break to the downside, I'm not chasing that short. Okay, that to me is going to be too risky. What I would rather do is get down to my 3 hour, look left, and see what structure is to the left. And we're going to have to go back quite far. And there you see, here is a little bit of structure right here. See these two fractals here, and you can see how that lines up right there with this previous pin bar as well. So that is kind of what I'd be looking for. I'm only looking to be long at the moment, and I'm looking to be long for a couple of days right now. So that's why I'm very reluctant in actual fact to take any shorts going against the trend, especially on the higher time frames like this. Okay, anyway, that's kind of my view for today. Hope it helps you somewhat, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.